do hot takes. I just have an opinion on what I believe is probably the biggest talking point of the day. And the biggest talking point of the day will be whether or not Saquon Barkley should play in the Week 18 game. I'm here to tell you why this should not happen. I'm here to tell you why, if I were Nick Sirianni, I would say, hey, listen, man, sorry. We're going to rest you Week 18. And I have many reasons why. If you want to just start off with overall Saquon Barkley health, stop doing the whole, I've seen it on social media all over the place. He looks fine. You don't know. You don't know exactly how he's feeling. He does look fine. He looks like a freaking beast.
Looks better than fine.
167 yards yesterday. Of course he looks amazing. But I also know that just 2 games ago, he missed a lot of time because something was going on with the quad or the hammy. I forget exactly what it was, but he missed a decent amount of time in that game. You never know when that one little tweak could happen again. So he had 31 carries yesterday. That's the most rushes he has had in a single game this season. His season total is now up to 314. That is a career high. 295 he did in 2022. He is at 314. So I would imagine he would surpass maybe 325, 330 if he were to go out there in Week 18 to try to break Eric Dickerson's record. That's if he breaks it that quickly. As I mentioned in the previous segment, Saquon Barkley is averaging 47.5 yards per first half. 47.5. He needs to rush for over 100 yards to break Eric Dickerson's record. So for everybody that is telling me on social media, you got to let him have a shot. You got to give him at least the first half. What if he's still 50 yards away after the first half? Are you then going to move the goalpost a little bit and say, well, let's give him the third quarter. He's been getting fourth quarters off. Let's give him the third quarter. I would rather not even have that conversation. And in case somebody is wondering, wow, radio guy is trying to put a wet blanket on the mood today. Connor, you are my witness. You can attest to this. You've been here with me this entire season. I've been saying the Saquon Barkley record thing I don't want to go after for like a month and a half now because I thought they were going to finish with the 2 seed. There was a chance they could finish with the 1 seed, but I've been saying for weeks now they're going to get the 2 seed, and I hope they get the 2 seed early so that we don't have to go into Week 18 with the thought that they have to play, and what if they don't get the 1 seed, so they still finish as the 2 seed. That means they never had their bye week, which when was their bye week again this season? Can you remind me?
It was Week 5.
That was a long time ago. So I've been saying this. This is not me saying something the day after the Saquon Barkley 2,000-yard rushing season happened for me to be takey and for me to piss people off just to try to get engagement. I've been saying this for over a month now that I hope Week 18 does not matter. And even if Saquon Barkley was a yard shy of the record, I would not play him. Now, that's a little bit of a stretch, but that's not the case. It's over 100 yards. If you were to play Saquon Barkley on Sunday, you have to play Jordan Mailata. You have to play Landon Dickerson. You have to play Cam Jurgens. You can make the case to play Tyler Steen after Mekhi Becton was hobbled in the game just yesterday. But I don't know. Maybe Mekhi Becton wants to be out there. And then, of course, probably the most important Eagle over the last decade, Lane Johnson would have to play. Lane Johnson's been banged up this season. Mekhi Becton's been in and out of games. Jordan Mailata has missed an extended period of time this season. Do you want to run the risk of your offensive lineman, the best part of your team, the strength of your team, in a meaningless game? Oh, by the way, Saquon Barkley runs a little bit more effectively when Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback. Are you going to have Jalen Hurts play in a meaningless Week 18 game just for Saquon Barkley to try to break a record? How about A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jahan Dotson? I know nobody cares about Jahan Dotson ultimately, but those 3 guys are on the field a lot when Saquon's carrying the football. That means they're blocking. You would have to play them as well. Now, before anybody says the whole, oh, well, don't even put it out there. Why are you so fearful of injury? Last year, before the final regular season game against the New York Giants, I begged and pleaded. You can check the tape. You can check tweets, however way you want to look at it. I begged and pleaded for the Eagles to rest their starters Week 18. Now, I understand that this season is so much different than last year's, right? totally different direction, totally different feel, totally different vibe, totally different talent level, coaching level. I get it. But last year, I thought their only chance to beat the Buccaneers when the vibes were so low was to use Week 18 as a bye week. Go into Tampa Bay healthy. Because remember, Tampa had to play in their Week 18 game, and Baker Mayfield actually got hurt in it. He ended up being fine, as we ended up finding out, because he beat up the Eagles, especially in the second half of that game. There were a lot of people that told me the Eagles needed Week 18 to try to figure out the offense. And I made the case that you're not going to figure out this offense in 1 week when you have not been able to figure it out over the last couple of weeks. But what I can guarantee is a healthier team going into the first round of the playoffs if I rest my starters Week 18. And what happened? Probably the worst case scenario. A.J. Brown got hurt in a meaningless game. Yeah, there was some note still to that game that they could have won the division or they could have moved up in the seedings. Very, very minute chances. But multiple things had to go their way. They didn't go their way. The Eagles ended up losing the game, and the Eagles ended up losing their best wide receiver in a meaningless game. This Sunday is a meaningless game. This Sunday is practically a preseason game. There are people still saying on social media now, and I know you're one of them, Connor, that would like to see maybe Jalen Hurts get some reps before the playoffs. I'm told all the time that preseason games don't matter. This game is pretty much a preseason game, so why should this one be different? And I'm not mentioning I'm talking about Saquon Barkley specifically.
Right.
If this game has no meaning to it, that it is practically a preseason game, and I'm told all the time that preseason games don't matter and we shouldn't play in the preseason because we should be healthy going into week one, I'd rather a player get hurt in a game of meaning than a preseason game. That's what I hear all the time, right?
That's not totally fair.
But that is what a lot of people say, that they would rather a player get hurt in a meaningful game than a meaningless game.
Okay.
Well, then this Sunday's game is meaningless. It matters for one thing and one thing only, and that's for Saquon Barkley to try to break the all-time rushing record, which would be an amazing feat. It would be really cool. If you can guarantee me that he would come out of that game healthy and be ready to go for the playoffs, then yeah, man, go for it. But you can't guarantee that.
Thank you so much for checking out our content on the 97.5 The Fanatic YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, you can always be checking the playlist. There may be something you missed from one of our shows during the day that you want to go back and check out. So every time you like a video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and you'll have that great content coming to you every single day. You're greatly appreciated.